Thank you for double-clicking your mouse tonight. You're listening to the Midnight Frightcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, what's going on? This is your favorite Greg the Movie Guy hosting the Midnight Frightcast, episode number 49. We are back here in the basement studios. I've got to my right is the Scream Queen herself, Maddie.
Hello.
To my front is the doctor of...
I got nothing. You don't have to give me a title.
The doctor of He's Got Nothing, Josh.
I'll take that.
And then the doctor of everything else to my left is Patrick.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
All right, we are back for another episode. We got an interesting one this evening. Let's kick off with the trailer that we just watched here. That is for the movie coming out March 1st. That is The Hole in the Ground. What do we think of The Hole in the Ground?
Well, it's Irish.
It is very Irish. Look, I like these kinds of movies. These are. I've learned that I've kind of leaned towards these kinds of movies lately over the blood and gut kind of masterpieces that have been coming out. I'm just an atmosphere ghost story kind of guy all of a sudden, and those kind of scares just are what I'm into right now. I think it's right in my direction as far as films coming out. So. That's what I think. I can't wait to hear what Maddie has to say, though.
Maddie?
I'm kind of the opposite. I'm over the psychological family drama horror movie bullshit. I don't want to watch it anymore. That's all last year. I want horror movies to be fun again. But also, this is like a shot-by-shot remake of New Daughter, which had Kevin Costner in it. And it's a very, very good book by John Connolly, I believe. And it's literally the same movie. Like, in New Daughter, the guy's daughter wanders into the forest and finds a mound or something, not a hole, and comes back and is weird. And it's literally the same fucking movie.
I see what they did there.
Like, so it's just an opposite. Like, this is a fucking hole and her son. So, no, I'm not seeing this. Fuck this movie. It's the exact same thing as New Daughter, and I'm tired of having the same theme in horror movies.
Okay, so how old is New Daughter?
Not very old. Within the last, it can't be that old. I think like 2010, 11ish.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I will seek that one out because I'd love to see the.
It's the same movie. I mean, it's not a great movie because hello, it's Kevin Costner in a horror movie. Come on, but and it's the girl from Pan's Labyrinth who plays the daughter.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But yeah, it was an okay movie. It's an okay storyline, but yeah, it's the same damn thing, except it was Irish.
Does there seem to be a trend of creepy young boy movies coming out? Because this is like about the third or fourth one that I've seen for 2019.
The Boy 2 is coming out.
The Prodigy is coming out here this year. Last year Before I Wake came out. That's the same kind of thing. So yeah, I mean,
I'm not into creepy kid movies.
It's a definite trend. I just like I said, when if you want to talk about being scared or having a little bit of tension while you're watching a movie, those splatter movies just don't do it for me anymore. And I have to lean towards these kinds of psychological films to at least get like something in my brain going. Otherwise, I'm watching just blood everywhere, which is still, if I want to put in a movie that's just like, I'm ready to have some fucking fun and watch all the blood hit the wall, I can do that too. But if I want to watch something that kind of gets my brain moving, that's what I
something that's actually going to potentially have a chance to scare you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really get scared anymore, but I mean, but it doesn't mean my brain is shut off during a movie and that it's not, thinking about shit.
Right,
so.
But if you get into those movies where, like, I always come back to Last Shift because that was one of the last legit movies that put me on edge, and it was the atmosphere that they built and the tension that they built in that movie that actually kind of sucked you in and, like, gave you that opportunity to be scared.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of have a rule is if you can swat the protagonist of the movie away, it's not, or the antagonist of the movie away, it's not scary. Like, you can just smack a kid and it's going to fucking go somewhere. Like,
it's going to go somewhere.
It's kind of like, what's that movie that Del Toro did with the, like, little, like, killer tooth fairy things? I was like, that's not scary, so you can just swat it away. Same with kids. You just, like, smack that kid, send it to daycare, don't look it up.
Send it to
no. We're looking it up.
You're grounded. You're grounded for scaring the shit out of me.
Yeah, listen, you little demon fucker. I'm over this. So Obviously, I'm not excited about this.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I look for like I like the Conjurings, you know,
I don't know,
the Conjuring world and stuff like that. Just because I
don't know, I
get a feeling from it.
Make horror fun again, 2019 hashtag.
So Patrick, you started, but
well, I was just going to add that it has what's the actor's name? James Cosmo.
Oh, the guy,
the older guy,
the older guy in it, and he seems to be pretty solid in other movies that he's been in. So that may lend some something to it.
I'll be honest. I'm not going to chase the movie to the movie theater, but I mean that drops VOD. I'm interested in watching that movie, so it's not going to get the same kind of attention that a lot of the horror films coming out this year are going to get. But it doesn't mean sometimes those are the best ones that come out. So
yeah. Well, as I said, watch New Daughter first. It's the same goddamn.
What you said.
Okay.
Did you have a thought, Greg, on the movie?
I do have a thought. If you guys want to hear it,
yeah, I'd love to.
I probably am not going to see it.
Oh, is that your thought?
Very deep.
Yeah, exactly. It just like there's an intriguing concept to it, but I'm not really sure how to feel, honestly, because I wasn't drawn into the trailer like I usually am with movies that I want to see, and it's kind of like you said, Maddie. The kid looks more annoying than scary and than anything. So yeah,
we're all thinking of the Babadook, where the kids obnoxious.
Yes, I was just gonna say the Babadook. They don't get more obnoxious than that kid,
right? Okay,
we should definitely start dropping these trailers on our Facebook page.
Oh yeah,
that'd be a good idea.
That way. Sorry.
That way they don't have to chase it down; they can just see it right there.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page
and give us their opinion on whether they think this is a good movie or whether they think this is mound with an inverted mound.
This is a podcast and a creative meeting. So.
Excellent. Yeah. You get to see the sausage get made. Somebody's making sausages. Let's move on to the news. It's the news.
I like it better when Greg was angry and mad and he didn't want to do that anymore.
All right, who has got some stuff to share? I know we have a lot. There's a lot of stuff flying in our messenger thread.
Since you all have a lot of stuff, I'm going to go out with I've got no news tonight because all I could find really was fucking zombie news, and people were over the zombie shit. So for me tonight, no news is good news. With that being said, go.
Okay. We posted in our messenger thread that Netflix is developing a Resident Evil TV series. I haven't had a chance to actually read the article, so I don't know much about it. But Resident Evil, the video game, was one of my all-time favorite video games that I've ever played. And seeing that they're trying to revitalize the series after what they've kind of done with the video games has left a sour taste in my mouth. I know that they did the whole movie franchise. I only saw the first two. First one was decent, but it didn't. Here's the problem that I have with these video games being made into movies is I feel like they take too much creative liberty to alter the storyline, like creating a whole new character that has nothing to do with the original IP. The movie was good. You'd call it something different. You'd have probably liked it a little bit more, but that's to be said. So I'm taking this announcement with a grain of salt. I want to watch it because I love what Netflix is doing. I think they've been coming out with some really great stuff, and I feel like they could do some decent justice to an original movie that they rated PG-13.
The Resident Evil thing, though, that's going to be, you said Netflix, like a TV series. Mm-hmm. Aren't they rebooting the whole Resident Evil world?
Are you talking in this or the video games?
Just they're starting to redo the films again.
I think there's been talk that they're redoing the movies again. I haven't heard much about it. This is the first stuff that I've heard of about a reboot of anything.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that this might have been that, and they're just taking it to a series instead of a movie style.
Gotcha.
So
cool.
I think that'd be fun.
It could be interesting. Again, I think Netflix could do it justice. They've got to do it and not try to catch that age 13 audience because it's a freaking horror zombie game.
Netflix can do anything now. They've got like no rules. They got no real anybody holding them back doing what they want to do.
Well, and they're proving it too. I mean, I feel like they're dropping new series and new movies like once a week.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see what they'll do. Again, I'm going in not setting the bar high and with a grain of salt because I don't want to get my hopes up on one of my favorite series.
I just hope they don't fall into the same pattern that Fox has fallen into and that they drop good series in the sense of ending them. Because Fox always got in that habit whenever a good series came on, for some reason they felt it didn't quite fit what they were doing, so they got rid of them. You're seeing Netflix dropping all these Marvel things that are doing really well for them.
I think they're doing that because of Disney.
Disney, they've come out and said that Disney had nothing to do with that decision.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not catch that.
Because Disney was caught off guard. They came out right away and said, we weren't picking up these franchises. We don't plan to pick up these franchises.
Yeah, Luke Cage wasn't doing that well. 3 or 4 that they dropped on Netflix were not the only one that
Daredevil was doing really well.
Daredevil did really well,
and Iron Fist was not.
Yeah, Iron Fist, but the Punisher even is supposed to come back for season 3, but they don't know if they're going to do it. So
I don't know. Netflix is they're doing some interesting things.
Yeah,
so we'll see what happens with this, but I'll definitely give it a check and see what they do. Who's next?
I have a few that I'll just run through real quick. The first one's kind of horror news, kind of not. My absolute favorite band, Slipknot, the main singer, Corey Taylor, is collaborating with Tom Savini to make his new mask. I think that's awesome. Yeah, I'm just fucking excited about that.
I saw that mask. There's a picture of that mask on Facebook. It was really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but... the other thing is Blumhouse is reviving The Invisible Man with Lee Winnell from Saw at the helm, so we'll see what that does. And then the last one that I thought was really funny is Netflix has please asked its fans to stop being thirsty about Ted Bundy.
Right.
And I think that's both disturbing and hilarious, so I just wanted to share that.
Lee Winnell is going to be busy this year, too, because he's also tapped to do he's rewriting Escape from New York.
Yeah,
they're rebooting that now too.
They're remaking that. Yeah, he's writing that. So
now on the Invisible Man, did you? And maybe I just dreamt reading this, but did you also mention that they were looking at going back and doing all of the masterpieces?
I don't know. I know they were trying to go back and forth with it because they tried in the beginning to redo Dracula Untold, which I thought was a great movie. I don't know why everyone bitched about it. And then The Mummy was supposed to be part of that. So I don't know if they're going to go back and redo those again or just pretend they don't exist, or I have no idea what they're doing.
I actually did go and see Dracula Untold, and I thought that Luke Evans was a great casting choice for that.
Yeah.
I had a few issues with the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't end very strongly, but I don't know, I thought overall the movie was cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't garbage.
No, up until that point, I think it was very, very well told. And then, like you said, The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
The Mummy wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, though. It was entertaining. I never want to see it again, but I wasn't sitting there in pain the whole time, sure. I guess. And that's kind of from the critiques and reviews. That's what I thought it was going to be, but it was entertaining enough.
It kind of worries me, though, that they're going to try and take on these classic monster movies.
Yeah.
Just because you can't touch the old ones. And what are you going to do with the new ones that are going to try and make them new classics?
They did The Wolfman not that long ago too. They've done that.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was part of this whole thing or not.
It was early
2008, I believe.
Yeah, so which I thought that was really good. So
I haven't seen that one.
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, I thought he's great.
But once again, Netflix says stop being thirsty.
All right,
no more Ted Bundy, people. Calm down.
Well, from CBS All Access has ordered 10 episodes of a limited series of The Stand, based on Stephen King's novel, to be produced by CBS Television Studios. The apocalyptic series takes place in a world mostly wiped out by the plague and embroiled in the elemental struggles between good and evil. Josh Boone and Ben Cavell will write and executive produce, and Boone will direct the series.
Cool. They've done that before, right?
It was originally done in 1994 as a 4-part miniseries.
Cool, yeah.
On television. Rob Lowe, Molly Ringwald. Yeah.
I remember having to go to Hollywood Video and rent 4 cassette tapes of this movie.
Yeah. I will be very interested. The Stand is one of my favorite books by Stephen King. Mm-hmm. And I think doing it as a 10-part series probably would be a better adaptation than what the 4-part miniseries was, because it is such a large book that they're going to have the ability to go in more detail and be more true to the book. Of course, they could just fuck it up.
They could.
So it could go either way.
Are Rob Lowe and Molly Ringwald coming back?
I hope not. I like them both individually, just not in that story. So And I'd like to see them film part of it in Nebraska, since the old woman that everybody congregates to is supposed to be living in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Instead, they just made some big studio thing. And then from NME News, members of the Wu-Tang Club are working on a horror film with Black Klansman producer Sean Reddick. Now, according to the article, RZA and Ghostface Killah from the legendary rap group are developing a suspense horror thriller film called Angel of Dust, which is based on the true stories from Streets of New York. RZA is believed to be directing the movie, the story of which was written by Ghostface Killah and Wu-Tang's longtime manager, Michael Caruso.
Does he spell Killa with an A?
With an A-H.
Okay. Oh, A-H. Thank
Killa.
you. I wanted to make sure I got the credits right.
Yeah.
Did Jordan Peele open a weird door?
He may have.
He may have. I don't know.
He opened the Twilight Zone.
Because
I'm a little scared now.
because some of the producers from Get Out are working on this.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
That's the first news that's dropped that I've actually had nothing to say about. Like, that pretty much.
This
Shut
may
me
be
up.
one that I would chase just for the
Pure interest of
what it's going to be. Exactly. So
Angel of Dust is what it's
Angel
called?
of Dust.
Is this about PCP?
I was going to say, this
that's-
has to have some sort of drug reference in.
It very well possibly could. We don't know. It's just based on true stories from the streets of New York.
And it's
Okay.
thriller drama, you said.
Suspense horror thriller.
Okay.
All right.
I'd watch it once.
I want to know more about this
Yeah.
before I
let's
commit.
let's keep a bookmark on that one because
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested. Angel of Dust. If
I'm
anybody
sure-
has any news,
I'm sure a lot of people felt the same way when Rob Zombie said he was going to start producing movies.
true. However, I feel like Rob Zombie transitioning from music, especially his type of music and or stage show, to horror movies.
His last name is Zombie. Like, I'd be mad if he didn't.
Right, like he goes straight into like chick flicks or
And he was involved in like studio stuff way before all that anyway, as far as like his animation background went, and he was on Pee-wee's Playhouse. So, I mean, he has a studio, like
Rob Zombie was involved with Pee-wee's Playhouse.
he was involved with Pee-wee's Playhouse. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't say that surprises me in the least bit.
So
We learn new things every day on this show.
All right, that was the news. We're not going to do it. God's just gonna do
it.
Josh, you've got a vein pulsating in your head.
no, I don't. Do I really?
I like that we have the grumpy side of the table. That's like,
Yeah.
no.
I'm wearing a hat. You can't even see it.
No, it's like right here, and it pulsates whenever Patrick gets louder doing the news segment.
I don't know.
Oh my God, it's throbbing.
Okay.
And on that note, what is everybody?
Wait a minute. What?
The vein.
The vein is throbbing. The vein.
The vein.
The vein.
What have we been watching?
What have we been watching? let's segue over quickly. Anybody, jump in.
Yeah, because I'm going to eat shit, I'll just throw this out there. My wife and I are two of those people that fell down the Ted Bundy rabbit hole. So we did watch the Ted Bundy tapes on Netflix. It's really not that good. It's really not. It's really not. It's kind of boring, actually. It's exactly what it says the title is. It's, I mean, it's interviews with Ted Bundy. I just thought they'd be like show actual some footage and stuff, and they kind of do, but it's really boring. It's 4 parts, and so it's about 4 hours long, and I didn't care. If anything that it taught me is back in the 70s, they didn't really believe in handcuffs or worry about anybody escaping, and he escaped 3 fucking times. While he was in custody, he escaped 3 times. So other than that, it was pretty awful. I don't suggest using the 4 hours to watch that at all.
Did you tweet out "choke me, daddy" like all these other bitches?
No, I didn't have anything to tweet. I didn't have anything to Facebook. I didn't have anything to talk about it really at all to people because I don't suggest anybody watch that. What I do suggest is everybody go find The Punisher and watch season 2 because it is the shit. And I wrapped that up this week also. That's what I've been watching.
Well, speaking of Ted Bundy, I watched Won't You Be My Neighbor this weekend.
Weird.
Weird segue.
I just thought it'd be an interesting segue
you.
going, you never know what Fred Rogers was up to.
That
with all those rumors going around about him actually being a stone cold killer, and he always wore the sweater just because he was covering up his tattoos and everything else. Let's see.
That's why I wear a sweater.
It was a really awesome documentary.
Yeah.
If you grew up with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, which I did, and it meant a lot to me as a kid, and even as an adult. And watching this just took me back 40-some years to when I was a kid. It showed him the way he was, showed that he had flaws just like the rest of us, but also that what he strove to do was just an amazing thing for the people of this world. So if you have a chance to see it, I suggest Won't You Be My Neighbor?
That got snubbed by the Oscars as far as documentary.
It was not nominated
It did
for Best
not get
Documentary.
nominated for documentary, which is some bullshit.
That is total bullshit.
Yeah.
Bummer. Was that streaming somewhere, or did you get that Netflix
Rachel
disc?
Redboxed it.
Redbox, okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I've been wanting to see that one.
That's it for me.
Cool. So I actually got to go out to the theaters last week, and I got to check out Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, cool.
Which I was interested in checking out, but I was more interested in seeing it just at home or wherever it would come up. But my old roommate Adam had talked me into going and seeing it because he went and saw it and said it was good. And it's pretty fucking fantastic. The animation alone just blows your mind. Aside from that, I have also been binge watching Game of Thrones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched 6 episodes today, so to speak. So.
Are you in the first season still?
No, I am 6 episodes into the 3rd season.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to get through them as fast as I can, but God, those episodes are long.
Yeah, it's
so good though.
It is fantastic. Like
Yeah, Spider-Man did get nominated for an Oscar.
And
so
it definitely is.
Yeah.
Because it was animation, best animation.
Yeah, for animation, yep.
If it doesn't win,
So.
I'm going to be upset.
So
that's what I've been watching.
Nice. The only thing I really watched of note lately was Carriers, early 2000s. It was really good. I mean, yeah, that's all I really have to say.
What'd you watch it on, Maddie? The streaming or
Yeah, streaming somewhere. I don't know. My boyfriend picks the movies and I just come in and sit down.
Cool.
But yeah, and I am a huge Law and Order SVU fan, so it was really cool to see Christopher Maloney or whatever his name is in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was like,
love Christopher Maloney.
I know, I was like, it's Detective Stabler, and he did a really great job in this. So really cool movie, not cheerful at all, but you know,
He's one of those actors I would love to see do a lot more stuff. One of the things that I caught he did a guest spot in Scrubs where he acted opposite of John C. McGinley, and that was just absolutely awesome watching those two go back and forth.
I kind of want to see that series, and I can't remember. I think it was on Hulu. Happy. I heard a lot of really good things about that, but like I watched a trailer for it. It just looked a little too out there for my personal taste, but maybe I'll check it out one day after I've been drinking.
All right, so that is what we have been watching. We are just kind of trucking along here. We're going to dive into our topic. And Patrick, did your TV just turn on? Why is it static?
What?
Something's crawling out of the TV.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, we're going to talk about favorite cursed haunted objects. See what I did there?
I did.
I got all of you.
Fucking staring at the
got
TV like, what
all
does
of
he
you.
see?
Yeah.
I just assumed you were taking drugs again.
Yeah, I got lost.
I'm actually off the drugs. The drugs
Also
keep me
explains
grounded.
it.
So yeah, we're gonna jump over and talk about our favorite haunted or cursed objects from horror movies, which is kind of an interesting topic.
Yeah, do we want to? If we do this
We're gonna
every
round
time?
robin. No, we're round robin.
Okay, Greg's made the decision. We're
Yes,
gonna round
we're not
robin.
even gonna discuss it any more than we already have.
Cool.
Because this is too much. Why am I still talking?
Cool.
Somebody go.
Who wants this? Anybody? I don't. Yeah.
I'll go ahead.
Cool.
I'll just start with my number one, the Hellraiser cube. We're all really, really shocked.
Yeah, I specifically did not write that down because I knew Maddie would. So I was like, just stay away from Maddie's Hellraiser.
I know, it's weird. It's almost like I just tattooed it on my fucking leg.
What?
Okay, so being a Hellraiser fan, do you know the actual reference to the cube? Do you know what it's called?
I feel like I do, but the word's escaping me right now.
The lament configuration.
Thank you.
Just a little bit of trivia.
There you go.
Greg?
One of my favorite ones was the videotape from The Ring.
Cool. That's on my list.
Yeah,
I'm going
that's
to check
on
it
my
off.
list.
Take it out. Haha. The videotape.
That's on my list as well.
Which is kind of a bummer. If you think about it, I was reading one of the things on there because I was looking up different ones, and it said that basically all you have to do for that to like go out is wait for technology to advance. So like it's not
she can't do anything
It's not
now.
legitimate anymore. You can't watch videotapes. So it's like
Somebody could find it and transfer it to DVD.
It's on
I suppose.
YouTube.
Yeah.
You can find the clip on YouTube. Yeah.
Patrick, what do you got?
The Necronomicon from the Evil Dead.
Necronomicon, not Comic Con. Necronomicon? I heard Comic-Con in there. Did anybody else hear Comic-Con?
You know what? Comic-Con, Necronomicon, Necro, whatever. It's that
Did I say Necronomicon?
You did, but
did I really?
Cool.
Yes.
The Necronomicon from the Evil Dead. And I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to go back and say, no, I said it right.
No, you didn't.
But I did.
But you didn't.
No, because they'll go back and listen to it, and they say, no, he said it right, and Greg, you'll be wrong.
You should use this as your little sampler.
Where you
say Necronomicon.
I'll use you as my little sampler.
You usually do.
Josh, go.
Yeah, so that was on my list as well, so my list is going to go real quick. I put down The Button from Drag Me to Hell.
Okay, yeah.
But
I did not like that
just
movie.
because I'm a fan of the movie.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Well, fuck you guys.
I've never seen it, so I'm assuming it was a really good movie, Josh.
It's Sam Raimi, so
I understand its appeal.
It's
so
not a great cast. It's. I mean, Justin Long's in it, so I like him. Lindsay Lohan's sister. I don't even know her fucking name, but she's in it. She's the lead in it. So it's not great cast wise, but I like the movie for the most part. It's a nice little. It was Sam Raimi's nice little return to horror. So whatever. I liked it. We all can't like everything. There you go, Natty.
We can all like the movie Revenge.
We can.
Yeah.
We could.
We did.
Some of us don't, though.
Oh yeah, Greg hated it. Never mind.
Right.
I kind of debated putting this because I didn't know if it really counted, but the Amulet of Pazuzu from Exorcist.
That totally counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if this counts or not.
That's number 2 on my list.
Yes, and I put that on there mainly because I love The Exorcist so fucking much. It's classic shit, and everyone should watch it.
Next on my list was the television from Poltergeist.
Does that count?
I'm
sorry.
I mean, she goes through the television. It's possessed.
It's a fucking
haunted.
no. It's a gateway.
Well,
now we're on split hairs.
Well,
right.
One could say that the cube from Hellraiser is a gateway.
You're right. I'm sorry, Greg. It totally counts. That TV from the Poltergeist is the scariest shit on the list. Sorry, man. Go. I'm sorry. I didn't know if that counted or not. That was a legit question, Greg. Don't stare at me like I'm an asshole.
And now you're trying to backpedal and cover yourself.
I am very much backpedaling. I admit it. I'm wrong. I got it.
Patrick, save Josh.
Well, this one actually piggybacks off the one Greg just said because I need to include the clown doll from Poltergeist that attacks the kid, wraps its arms around him, and everything else. Because that is a possessed doll.
Yeah. The last one on my list, because everybody kind of just had the same ones, was the car from Christine. So
that's on my bad list because it was such a shitty movie. That movie was a pile of dog shit.
Good talk. I guess we're gonna move on.
How many of your movies can we ditch on today?
That's cool. Well, then I'm gonna throw out the Annabelle doll. How about that?
Okay.
Shit on that.
That was a terrible move.
Well, I quit. I'm just gonna sit here because my list is done.
I said the doll from Child's Play, Chucky, which I guess that counts.
That totally counts.
Okay, I came across that one and I thought about putting it on my list, but I had trouble putting it on there because never mind, I'm done.
No,
you put the TV from Poltergeist, but you don't count the Chucky doll?
Because
even though the doll is completely possessed by the guy that was killed?
All right, I guess that's fine.
Yeah,
I feel like it's got to be like some ancient curse, but I guess he voodoos himself into that.
Right,
doll.
yeah.
So, all right, that's fair.
Yeah.
Count it. No, I wasn't not going to count it, but I'm just saying. Last on my list was, and I'm surprised I haven't heard this from you yet, or maybe it's on your list, is the painting from Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's actually, is that on anybody's list?
That's not on my list.
All right, well, Greg got one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
That's a good pick, yeah. I wouldn't even thought about that. Probably because Ghostbusters 2 was...
Not a horror movie.
It's got horror elements in it.
Just
the name says ghost.
Wasn't the best Ghostbuster movie, so...
It's that comedy horror
but it's
thing.
not the worst.
Yeah. That's true.
Very true.
I've got the Dybbuk box from The Possession, the Jewish Possession movie.
I didn't see the movie, so I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, guys.
The
really
Possession?
good movie.
Okay.
The Possession.
Writing it down.
You got anything else?
I said the house from Amityville, but I didn't. Once again, didn't know if it counted.
That counts.
Yeah, because I was like, there's like ghosts and shit.
Is that a haunted house or is that a possessed house?
I don't know because there's like ghosts and shit in there, so I don't know. I don't know.
Then you got to count every haunted house from every goddamn movie.
Right.
Well, I kind of feel
That's what
like
I'm
the
saying, is it
house was
possessed or is it-
doing like stupid shit. Like was
Instead of things being there to haunt it, the house itself was evil.
yeah, and I kind of watched the Amityville movies sporadically. Like I haven't seen all of them, so I don't know the like extensive backstory, lore, mythology. I just know I liked Ryan Reynolds running around with his shirt off a whole lot.
Me too.
My wife definitely did.
Yeah. All
Whose
you
wife
ladies
didn't?
who
Oh,
loved
my
Amityville, we all know why you watched it.
Yeah, yeah. I had two more on my bad list because I had listed the 1958 Plymouth Fury from Christine as a bad one just
It's
because
a
of the
possessed item. We didn't
It
talk good
is.
or bad. We said
No, but
possessed item.
we said it was kind of like the favorite items type.
Did I miss the word favorite then?
okay.
I just wrote possessed items
All right.
down.
Well, then you worked. It works for you. It works for you. But the mirror from Oculus, I thought was kind of weak. The Mangler from The Mangler.
What?
It's Stephen King.
Right.
Yeah, you know it. Oh my God, that was horrible. But one that is kind of obscure that I added to my list because it was obscure is the tire from the movie Rubber.
Oh, yeah, good pick. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That movie is just
That movie is just so bizarre. That's my list.
All right. Let's kick over to the last segment of episode 49. That is the review of the movie Raw. Patrick, you got the
Yes.
tales.
The Deets, the movie Raw, released in 2017, now streaming on Netflix, running an hour 35. Everyone in Justine's family is a vet and a vegetarian. At 16, she's a brilliant student starting out at a veterinary school where she experiences a decadent, merciless, and dangerously seductive world. Desperate to fit in, she strays from her family principles and eats raw meat for the first time. Justine will soon face the terrible and unexpected consequences as her true self begins to emerge. IMDb rating 7.0, Metascore 81, Rotten Tomato critic score 91%, Rotten Tomato audience score 76%.
I think we should start with, because this was Maddie's pick, so I think we should start with why Maddie picked the movie. If
Okay.
you don't mind.
I picked this movie because a couple years ago when it came out, it got a lot of press. It said people were like fainting in the theater watching this. And also, I've been a vegetarian for 10 years and I've seen this theme a couple times where like vegetarians all of a sudden become cannibals. And I think it's really funny and I want to know when that's supposed to happen so I can prepare myself. Because apparently, according to horror movies, like that's the next step.
Cool.
Okay.
For some reason, I was thinking there was another reason you picked it, and that was because of the director.
Oh yeah. It's Women in Horror Month. So I picked a movie that was directed by a woman. Don't know her name right now.
Well, and there's no way I can probably pronounce it because it's French. Julia Ducournau, something like that.
That did not sound French at all.
No, it's Ducournau.
It sounded butchered, but that's just me.
Oh, that's fine.
Ducournau. I really don't know how to pronounce it. So, but yes,
Yeah, my French isn't fantastic either.
yes.
Yeah.
And we will be mentioning the women in horror later on in this podcast.
Hell yeah.
Let's continue.
All right.
What do people think?
So this, I saw this. This landed on my top 10 back in 2017 when we did our list in 2017. I was drawn the same way Maddie was when I first saw the movie. From all the stories from all the film festivals it played at, of people running from the theater, vomiting, and people fainting in the theater. And there was a festival that handed out vomit bags to people for the movie because of them hearing about other people having to leave or throwing up in the theater. So they're handing out vomit bags in the movie. And then when you watch the movie, there's just no goddamn reason for that at all.
I didn't feel that way either.
Yeah, I was like, what scene am I supposed to be throwing up at?
Yeah,
There was one that I could consider, and that was the hair scene.
she's
Oh,
pulling the hair out of
Yeah,
her
that's
mouth.
pretty,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
gross.
That
but-
was I had a little bit of tough time watching that part, but
Yeah.
continue. Sorry.
This is 2016, so we can't do spoilers.
yeah, it was made 2016,
It released in
fully released
2017.
2017. Yeah.
So that was like a big draw for me as far as like I was like, why are people running from this movie? That's what I want to know. But as far otherwise, it's like, you know, it was well written. I thought it was really smart. It was well acted. I liked the nice little twist at the end of the movie. I thought that was that came at a nice point. I thought watching Justine, the girl that played her, that transformation from the beginning to the end, I thought was really a lot of fun to watch. And just the interaction between the sisters. I thought that relationship was really good as well. My question was did Alex know what she was before her sister arrived at that school?
Did she know what her sister was, or did she know what she herself
she
was?
I think she knew.
Alexia totally knew what she was.
Yeah, I think she definitely knew what she was.
Gotcha.
And I think that's why she pushed her toward. We're not doing spoilers on this.
We will do spoilers.
Yeah,
it's
will.
old enough. Yeah.
It's 2017.
Okay, perfect. So I think when you get to the very end, Alexia obviously knew what she was because she knew what her parents were, and
But did she know what her parents were? Because the reveal at the end was
I would
to
say
Justine.
yes, because the father says your mother worked very hard at trying to get her to be straight, to not do things like that.
Okay,
right.
gotcha.
So I think when Justine is having trouble with the initiation and the hazing portion of eating the rabbit kidney, then Alex comes up and she pops one in and says, "Pop one in. You're going to be one of the family now." And I think that's why she knew.
And the sister also said, "But I can't do it. I'm a vegetarian. My sister's a vegetarian." And the person said, "Are you a vegetarian?" And the sister said, "No."
Yeah.
So I think she learned a long time ago.
But they were raised vegetarians. That's what's the weird thing is too. Is like they were raised as vegetarians.
Maybe it was
to
because
keep them from getting that taste of flesh.
keeping them as long as they could before they got to that point, because they all went to that same school. They went through the exact same initiations. They knew what was coming up.
Yeah.
They wanted them to be vegetarians until they got to that point where they absolutely could not anymore.
Gotcha. So I mean, overall, like so I said I had seen this before when it first released, and I enjoyed it the second time around. So that's all I got.
Yeah, it was a second watch for me as well, because I would have to go and look, but I think it was part of my 2017 list. I think I enjoyed it better this time than I did the first time, because I knew what was coming up. I could sit back and just relax and enjoy the decadence of the movie a lot more. However, I didn't really fall into this is horror now as much as I did the first time. I think it was shocking. I think it was disturbing. I think it was bloody. I think it could be disgusting, but but there wasn't anything in there that made me scared or uneasy this time through.
But it's a cannibal movie, though.
Right.
So it's horror. It's for sure horror.
See,
Go ahead,
We're going to have
Maddie.
a discussion again.
I know.
Oddly enough, the tone of this movie to me was total, like, almost like dark teen comedy for some reason. Like, to me, there was just too many funny parts, or like almost jokey, or almost like a teen college movie part to make this a horror movie. Like, yes, it's a horror movie because there's like cannibals, they're eating each other. Like, you probably wouldn't put that in a comedy, but to me, there was a lot of just, as I said, watching most of it, I was like, this kind of seems like one of those, like, I don't know, Animal House gone bad movies. Like,
Well, and not to jump on you, Josh, but
Jump.
okay,
Please.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone made a musical called Cannibal the Musical,
Which I
It was
understand, yeah.
awesome.
and that is not a horror movie. That's
I
a
gotcha.
complete comedy. So I think this could be a dramatic movie without being a horror movie.
Okay.
One thing that I had written down was that it's kind of a cross between a coming of age tale mixed with a horror movie. Where do I put that? Yeah, horror meets coming of age drama, because there's really the one thing that I pulled out of here, and I'm not going to go on a tirade like I did last podcast, so I promise you that I actually liked the movie. I did. There's no gray area or subtle transition with Raw. You either get the sweet college girl trying to survive her first year, or you get graphic cannibal horror. And it's like one to the other immediately quick, which I actually really liked about that, because you didn't know when was going to happen. There wasn't any build. It was just like, oh, she's now eating the person. Okay, we're here now. Let's continue with this going. That's and I feel like they did it really well, which was nice, because you got to kind of absorb yourself in her. Okay, I'm a newbie going into college, and now all of a sudden you get this whole like almost werewolfian type transition with her character, which I agree. I also really liked how you can see this sweet little college girl, top of her class, go completely the other way.
Yeah.
Well, and my comments today are based on my watching it for the second time. I'm sure the first time I watched it and she's sitting there eating her sister's finger, I'm sure that was much more shocking then than it was today.
Right.
I was never shocked in this movie.
Yeah, no.
There was nothing that I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's eating the finger. There's nothing that like shocked me. And that's, again, I don't need to be shocked to call it a horror film. I base things off of where that genre or where that subgenre would fall. And just for me, like it doesn't live. Like I didn't laugh at the movie, so it didn't fall into comedy for me. There was no singing, so it didn't fall
It's
like
like
a
a
musical.
musical.
Like there was people eating people, so I was like, all right, well this shit's horrific. So that's where it just fell for me. And that's
It's a gross out horror movie. You don't have to worry about the scare. You're worrying about making you like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that was another note that I had written and left. Are you done, Patrick? Okay.
Well, with that, yeah.
Okay. One of the notes that I had written down was, if horror is designed to push viewers beyond their comfort zone, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And that is pun intended.
gross.
Right? Because I have felt uncomfortable throughout this entire movie. Most of all, watching her transition from the sweet college girl into the whatever she became after that. Some of the shots that the director used in this was just like, I should not be watching this at all, especially as a dude. Wow, that was awkward.
Are you talking about the horror of her first Brazilian wax?
That was one.
Ding, ding, ding.
That was definitely one. There was the under the sheet shot.
When she was freaking out.
When she was freaking out and she kept flipping over, and it was that up angle. Like, why would you use that angle? But if it's designed to make you uncomfortable.
It's designed to make you uncomfortable,
it was very fucking effective. So, yeah, I felt like this was definitely more horror than some of the other movies that we've watched, where there's the horrific elements, but this was definitely a horror movie.
Patrick?
Like I said, once again, watching this for the second time, I think I actually enjoyed it more than I did the first time. There were things I noticed a little bit more that maybe I didn't notice the first time. There was one scene in there. It was one of the decadent dancing scenes and stuff like that. And they're zooming in on her. And as they're doing that, they're going past this couple where this woman's licking a guy's eyeballs.
Yeah, I saw
that.
And I'm like,
remember that.
What the hell? Because I didn't remember that from the first time I watched it. And I said, who the hell does that?
Drugs are a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
How did you miss that? Because that was like a prominent shot.
It really was, but I think maybe the first time I was just watching, I was focusing on her as it was zooming in. That someone's licking that person's face, but this time it was like she's fucking licking his eyeball.
Yeah.
I can't even put in a contact. I wouldn't have anybody like having their tongue stuck in my eye. And then when they were in the hospital, that weird shot of the guy sitting across from her and he's flipping his dentures around.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was just enough weird stuff on top of the weird stuff that I was able to take note of this time. And you pointed out that she was freaking out under those sheets, and that was more effective for me this time than it was the last time as well.
What was the... because they showed it twice in the movie, so it had something to do with something. But what was with the game of run out in front of the car so the car crashes?
Oh, I love the tie-in because that had to have been her sister at the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the way that she hunts.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
and
gotcha.
She'll go out, run in front of it so they swerve, die, and she's got fresh meat to eat.
Gotcha,
and then at that point, after her finger was cut off and her sister ate her finger,
she knew what was
she goes,
up.
all right.
It's game on.
Yep, little sister, I'm going to teach you something.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know. I did text my sister during this movie, and I was like, I'm watching a movie about two sisters bonding over becoming cannibals.
Sweet.
She's like, leave me alone, man.
I know. She was like, can I block your number?
The one scene that I was kind of questioning, and I don't know if anybody caught something different than I did, was it was a quick shot of the dog that Justine was autopsying. Mm-hmm. It was just a quick shot where you see the cover fall off of the dog, and it's just laying there on the table. What was the significance of that?
I don't know either.
Okay.
But it was I thought it was a cool scene.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, just like the way it was shot and everything.
Right.
It was really cool.
I was waiting for her to run
Pop
in and
up or
start
something,
eating
or-
it, or like she was laying there with the dog and eating it. I mean, but nothing ever happened other than the cover falling off.
Yeah, I didn't understand that, so I'm glad I wasn't alone.
It was fucked up, that scene that they showed that Alexia treating her sister like a dog. Where with the
right.
The video?
Yeah.
that was a little bit fucked up too. So,
but it led to one of the best scenes is the fight right after it.
It's cool.
There was kind of that sweet moment of, oh wait, you're gnawing on me and I'm gnawing on you.
Yeah.
Let's be best friends now.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned the twist, and there's actually a double twist at the end because when she wakes up next to Adrian, and then you're hit with the other twist right after that.
Yeah. We won't give that spoiler out.
Yeah.
We should leave that for people to.
And I agree, the eating her own hair and then vomiting it up.
That was a rough
I
scene.
thought there was
to get
somebody
through.
in this group that just really makes them. That's what I thought because I put down. I actually wrote down Maddie's favorite.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I can I can literally watch everything else on this planet. Cannot do wet hair. Absolutely.
And that was a lot of fucking wet hair coming out of her mouth.
Yeah. That was the only scene in this movie I was like, oh, that's a little rough.
Yeah.
Oh, the creepy truck driver.
Yeah.
He just comes over to talk to them, but he's got his hand on the guy's head.
Feeling up Adrian.
Playing with his ear and all that other stuff. And that's really odd.
I think they were just going for like the most uncomfortable scenes possible in this. And success.
Yeah.
I did, after they revealed the twist at the end, I did kind of think back on a lot of other stuff throughout the movie that I was like, oh, that makes sense now. Like at the beginning when the mom was like, did you take a bite out of that when she ate something and she like freaked out?
Right.
And I was like, because when I first saw that, I was like, damn, bitch, it's not that big of a deal. But then like at the end of the movie, I was like, oh,
that's exactly why.
That's a huge deal.
Reveal.
I do just want to. Okay, so one of the reasons I thought this was funny is this was kind of a funny movie is because I'm a woman and also because I'm a vegetarian. I have had that plate of fucking mashed potatoes because that's the only goddamn thing I can eat. And I don't know, just as you said, this is kind of a coming of age movie, but in a fucked up way.
Yep.
So like, I don't know. I think that was probably why I thought a lot of the parts in this movie were funny because I'm like, I can relate, not the eating part, I swear to God, but like, it's just
Need to go.
everything else. Just we've all like every woman has done that really fucked up. Like we probably shouldn't do this beauty thing in our room, but we're gonna. We're gonna. Most of us have had that horrifying Brazilian wax. So that was terrifying.
What I thought was weird about that is it didn't look like wax. It looked like bubble gum.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it, but that's the thing. They do have soft wax and wax.
And I've seen those, but I've never seen one that looked like bubble gum before. So it just looked weird to me. It's like, I just got done with some Big League Chew. Let's remove some hair now.
Let's get in there. Well, they do have one that's made out of like...
You got the order right, Patrick.
The Big League Chew.
Yeah, this movie I do think I would watch again. To me, everything was there. The acting was good. There were some really good shots. It was a fun movie, but like, I don't know, overall, it just didn't overly excite me. There were some parts that did kind of drag, and I kind of was like, that really handy little 10-second button, but that they've put on Netflix and Hulu now. Whoever did that, bless you, because I use it all the time.
It only sits at an hour and 38 minutes, but does anybody find it just like a touch long?
Yeah.
There were a couple scenes that they probably could have shortened up or kind of gotten to the point a little quicker, but
a couple of like the rave scenes maybe went on a bit long.
Yeah.
Like the secondary one, like the first one I felt was
necessary.
It was absolutely necessary because it introduced you to the sister. But yeah, you started getting to like the second. I feel like there was a third one in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I thought that with the creepy truck driver was probably not necessary. It was there because the woman was Justine was eating the shawarma. So it's just showing her development of eating more and more meat over. But you could have handled that a lot easier.
Yeah.
Just she walks in and orders a hot dog. You're done.
Yeah. That's done. I do want to say I can't remember which rave scene it was, but where they had like super soakers filled with alcohol. I was like, that is the best thing I've ever seen. I'm doing that this summer.
Yeah, my luck,
Brilliant.
Maybe that's why the guy was getting his eye licked because it was full of alcohol.
Probably. I can't imagine you'd be like drunk.
It's like, I'll take care of this. And she's like, okay, I'll take care of it for you.
That's awful.
Yeah.
As I said, I would watch this movie again, but there was just something I couldn't put my finger on that I just didn't find this movie exciting. I guess, as I said, I thought it was more of like a college.
So kind of like Alexia, she couldn't put her finger on things either.
Thank you.
Let's rate this movie.
All right.
Anybody else has anything else to say?
No.
Let's rate this movie. So, as we know, we rate on a gore factor.
It's the gore score, the fear factor, and the overall rating.
I was going to get there, but thanks for stealing my thunder.
Okay.
Why don't you lick my eyeball now? All right, let's start with that gore score. 3 or 4. Okay.
Yeah, Blood-wise, I was going to say like a 6.
I think I'd give it a 6 as well. I'm lumping the.
We don't live in your realm. We're not there yet. So
I'm lumping the uncomfortable and gore, like the gross out stuff. I'm lumping kind of all that together. I'd give probably a 6 or a 7.
A lot of the stuff happened after the fact, so it wasn't like as it was happening, so it's probably going to be a little bit lower for me as well. Probably a 3 or 4 on the gore score.
Okay.
Welcome to Maddie's world, Patrick. You're there.
I still have to go through Martyrs.
Yes, you
Wow.
do.
And some others.
Scare factor, none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
0.
There's
Yeah.
nothing in here that
It's
made me.
I just have to put anything that made me uncomfortable goes into the fear factor for me. So I have to give it at least a 1.
I have to give it a 1 because the movie exists.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
I'll give it a 1 for the Brazilian scene.
Oh yeah.
Feel you, girl.
And the random dog running up and just
Okay.
kind of sniffing them out.
Okay, real quick question. What fucking college lets you bring your giant dog in it? I just want to know.
I don't know, but that I'd
I'm
go to
sure
that
it was
college.
an emotional support
that
dog.
looked
Yeah.
like the same dog that ended up on the autopsy table later
Yeah.
in the movie.
Well, and that
true.
dog kind of disappeared after that scene.
Yeah,
too.
like we had to hide our cat in the hamper when I was in school. So that was like, because I saw the dog go with her and then I saw the dog later and I was like, they let you bring your fucking dog here?
Right. Overall, what do we give Raw?
Yeah, this sat on my top 10 list, and I'm pretty sure it sat up high, so I'm going to give it an 8.
I'm going to put it right at a 7. It was a very enjoyable movie, but I think I've seen things that I would put well above it. So about a 7.
I think I'd give it a 6.5, 7 as well.
Yeah, I'd say about a 6. It was enjoyable, but it didn't pop.
All right. That concludes our cast.
One
Great
thing
little
else,
discussion
one
of-
thing more we should say about the movie, if our listeners are planning on watching this, it is a subtitled movie. It is in French.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that was a
Oh.
fun surprise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, surprise, it's in French.
Thank you.
My next pick has no dialogue at all, though.
Oh,
So
this
be
is gonna
happy.
Awesome.
God, it's
Can't wait.
gonna be super gross. All right, let's jump in. We've got again. This is the conclusion of the podcast. Here, we're going to do some words that I can't think
Plugs.
of. Plugs. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Who's got something to plug?
As always, Screambox TV. They've added a bunch of really cool stuff this month. I think this is going to be a really fun year for them. $35 for the entire year. A little over 4 and some change for the month. Head on over to Screambox TV. Tweet them. Go on their Facebook. They actually share some really funny horror memes on Facebook. So if you're into that, check them out.
Go, Greg.
Jump over to gregthemovieguy.com. I do movie reviews with a positive spin. Currently working on my road to 200 posts. Recently just popped in there. Top Gun. I broke down and I watched a Tom Cruise movie.
Good for you.
Hell is wrong
Proud
with
of you.
me?
You picked a good one.
That's probably one of his only good ones. Early Tom Cruise. But yeah, gregthemovieguy.com. Boom. Patrick, take
I
us
got
home.
nothing.
Oh, you could talk about the next episode, which is
Yeah, so we are continuing Women in Horror Month for the next episode. So we are going to watch the Saska Sisters, American Mary, I believe, for the next one. So I've seen that movie. I'm a fan of the movie.
and what makes our next episode even more special. Number 50.
Oh, yeah, it's number 50.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we'll have to think of something kind of cool to do for that cast.
we've got some things up our sleeve.
Yeah.
It's going to be a special cast. There might be drinking involved. That could make things really interesting.
It's not ready until
I'm not
July.
saying it's your wine. I'm just saying there could be drinking involved.
Cool. I mean, I don't drink, but I like to watch everybody else drink, so that's fun. So number 50.
Josh will be the designated driver, even though the basement studio is my basement studio. He's going to have to help me find my way home.
I will be the designated podcaster. So
We'll keep it going when we start tangenting.
yeah, so it's cool because episode 50, like that's a milestone for us. So for anybody that's really a podcaster,
Yeah.
to do 50 episodes is kind of a big deal because usually people.
Well, especially
It's a lot of
since
time.
It's allowed.
yeah,
Absolutely.
especially since we only podcast every other week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, so we've been doing this over 2 years now.
Yeah, so we're into it. So cool. But yeah.
Another great thing to look forward to is we're going to have some bonus content coming up in honor of Women in Horror Month. We're going to have some guests in our studio. Maddie's going to lead a conversation with some women who are actually in horror to bring in some discussion, some topics, and everything else. So we're really excited and looking forward to that bonus episode.
Those ladies will be showing up to take our job.
Exactly.
It's going to be
Exactly.
awesome.
So the next podcast will be Greg and Josh and mine final
Yes.
podcast.
Be excited.
It's been a pleasure serving you. I don't know where to go for that. Sorry.
Because I'm sure they'll find the talent that is stepping in for that bonus is going to be much better than we are.
Right.
There's some talkers.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited for that episode. So, Maddie, don't fuck it up.
You're asking a whole lot of me.
All right. So if you are a fan of the Midnight Frightcast, and we know that you are, help us out. Make sure that you head on over to iTunes or whatever platform that you're listening to this podcast on, and make sure that you rate and review us. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, and many, 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 many more. You can also help us out financially to take care of some of our minor bills because we do have a Patreon account. So head on over to patreon.com/Midnight Frightcast. And we've got set up on very low levels, $1, $3, $5. Just takes care of those little things. And make sure you check us out online. You can find us on Twitter @MFrightcast, and you can follow us and join in the conversation on our Facebook group, Midnight Frightcast. You can also find us on Instagram, Midnight Frightcast. So share, 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 and share some more. Post it on your walls and tell your friends. And finally, make sure that you check out our films at midnightfrightfilms.com.
All right. This has been episode 49 with the Frightcast. Thank you guys all for coming in and sharing your thoughts. And I'm having trouble wrapping this up, so we're just going to wrap it up. Have a good night. Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.